Welcome back to Sim Sunday and welcome back to Prepared 3D version 4.5 and therefore in the not so capable hands of myself, the Sunday pilot. We begin this episode in Budapest, the capital city of Hungary and the home base for Wizzair, which today in 2021 is certainly one of Europe's star players in the low-cost airline business. Those of you who are avgeeks will already know that Wizzair operate an all-Airbus fleet. And therefore today we're in an Airbus A320 of Wizzair en route to Larnaca in Greek Cyprus as part of our Bucket Spade series. Jumping right into sim brief, we're going to be departing on runway 31 right, and shortly after departure making a number of left-hand turns to double back on ourselves, routing south towards Croatia, Romania, Kosovo and following the Turkish coastline before crossing the Mediterranean Sea towards Cyprus, where at this stage I'm planning an arrival into ILS runway 22 in Larnaca. The cruising altitude for this flight is planned at 35,000 feet, flight level 350, and the flight time at around 2 hours and 30 minutes. So jumping right into the cockpit and the left seat, the FMC is fully programmed and we're ready to ask for pushback and taxi to runway 31 right here at Budapest. And of course I'll come back to you when in the taxi and provide you a little bit more information on the scenery that I have installed here at Budapest and when we arrive in Larnaca.
Wizzair 2451 cleared to Larnaca Airport as filed. Fly runway heading, climb and maintain altitude 7,000. Departure on 129.7, squawk 0313.
Set mark. Tow truck disconnected. Bypass has been removed.
Taxi holding point for runway 31 right via taxiway. Uniform Whiskey 2, Whiskey 1, Papa 3, Papa 4, Alpha 9er, Wizzair 2451. Taxi hold.
As we make our way to runway 31 right here at Budapest, it's time to tell you a little bit about the scenery that we've got installed for this flight today. Here at Budapest, the airport scenery is being delivered by LHSimulations Budapest International. This is quite an old product now, available for FS9, FSX and all versions of Prepared. It's not particularly cheap for €22 on Sim Market, and because it's quite an old product, it doesn't support SOD animated jetways. And as you can see, the quality isn't actually that bad. However, I do need to be clear that when I recorded this video in early 2021, it was the only version of Budapest International available for Prepared 3D, and the version I'm using, 4.5. And when we get down to Larnaca, you're going to see Larnaca Airport presented from GSX. And of course, GSX offer Larnaca across a number of platforms, including Prepared and X-Plane for just under €23 from Sim Market. And as of early 2021, I own quite a few airports from GSX, and I have to admit, I think they provide very good quality for the money. As you can see, I'm following a Ryanair 737-800 to runway 31 right. So it's time for me to shut up for a while and get this Aerosoft Professional Airbus A321 in the livery of Wizzair into the sky.
Wizzair 2451, hold short, runway 31. Right traffic is Boeing 737 on the runway. Wizzair 2451, line up and wait, runway 31. Right. Line up and wait, Wizzair 2451. Ryanair 1907, contact Budapest, departure on 129.7. 129.7 for Ryanair 1907. Wizzair 2451, cleared for takeoff, runway 31, right surface wind 1965. Cleared for takeoff, runway 31, right, Wizzair 2451.
On taxiway, on taxiway. Contact Budapest, departure on 129.7. Wizzair 2451. Turn 1036. Turn right, heading 155. On right level 190. Budapest approach, Wizzair 2998. 110, Wizzair 2282. Turn left, heading 070. Wizzair 2282. Turn 1036. Turn left, heading 125. Zoom on navigation. Wizzair 24.
As I said at the beginning of this episode, Wizzair is one of Europe's rising stars when it comes to budget airlines. They've had an extremely steady growth plan over the last few years. Here in the UK, at the time of recording this video, they've had a base at London Luton for nearly 20 years. However, in recent months, they've announced expansion to London Gatwick and Edinburgh. And with Wizzair bases also opening across Norway, I can't help think that Wizzair are capitalising on Norwegian's demise. I also think this new Wizzair livery is really cool. And while I've never flown with Wizzair, I hear great things about their service and their reliability. Okay, let's jump forward to the approach phase of this flight. To our left is the Turkish coast, and straight ahead of us is the island of Cyprus. Over the week running up to this flight, the real Airbus pilot has been showing great patience by helping me with my approaches. And though Our approach into Larnaca on this flight will be a precision approach on ILS runway 22. I'm going to set up the final approach of this flight much sooner, giving myself a lot more time to try and get it right. Anyway, I'll leave the final verdict up to you as I attempt to put this Wizzair Airbus A320 on the ground on runway 22 in Larnaca.
306. Turn right heading 190, descend 1,500. Cleared ILS. Runway 22, approach, maintain 1,500. Until established. Tower on 120.575 with air 2451. Cleared to land. Runway 22 with air 2451.
Approaching 2-2.
500. 400. 300. 100 above. 200 minimum.
Glide slow.
100.
Glide slow. Glide slow.
50. 40. 30. Retard. 10. 5.
Well, I have to say that I'm actually very pleased with that landing. So welcome to Cyprus, where the temperature is 33 degrees Celsius. And that's something I should probably explain. During all of the videos that I'm making in Prepared 3D version 4.5, I've set the calendar to August 2020, along with historic weather being generated by Active Sky and Active Sky Cloud Art. My goal being trying to bring you these bucket and spade flights during the traditional summer season, which of course is being taken by thousands, in fact hundreds of thousands of people across Europe and North America. Anyway, as we're safely on the ground here in Larnaca, it's time to bring another episode of Sim Sunday to a close. I've really enjoyed making this flight from Budapest down to Larnaca. So until the next video, when we're back in X-Plane and the much more capable hands of the real Airbus pilot, all that remains for me to say is thank you very much for watching, and wherever you're flying in your virtual world, don't forget to fly safe.